Hello, I'm Nitya Bali, an architect at DRONAH since 2016. At DRONAH, I got the opportunity to work on multiple museum and heritage projects, both in government and non-government sector. One of the most significant and prestigious projects in which I was involved since its inception is the Conservation Management Plan for Government Museum and Art Gallery Chandigarh under Keeping It Modern grant funded by the Getty Foundation USA. Today, I'm going to talk about this project and share the journey with you. The Government Museum and Art Gallery is situated at the center of Chandigarh's cultural belt on the Jan Marg with its entrance towards the Leisure Valley. The museum was a brainchild of the Swiss-French architect Le Corbusier and is one of his most successful museum buildings. Dr. M.S. Randhawa, the patron for art and artists and also the then Chief Commissioner of Chandigarh, has been the pivotal driving force behind the museum initiative and its collections, working and contributing tirelessly for the institution. The Government Museum and Art Gallery, inaugurated in 1968 and governed by the Chandigarh administration, is one of the noteworthy museums of India with a rich repertoire of Gandharan sculptures, contemporary paintings, coins, medieval sculptures, Pahadi and Rajasthani miniature paintings. The museum's existence is based upon the partition of the Indian subcontinent. During the geographical partition, 40% of the collection, which largely included the Gandhara sculptures and the Indian miniature paintings, was received by India in 1948. This collection, which was finally housed at Government Museum in 1968, was initially displayed at the Central Museum, Lahore, before the partition. The role of DRONAH was to prepare a conservation management plan for the Government Museum and Art Gallery in 5 phases, the details of which are encased in this video. The CMP began with the documentation of the museum, which involved the survey and archival research. While the former included laser scanning and preparation of measured drawings of the existing museum, its adjoining extensions, exhibit pedestals, interiors, site landscape, and building risk assessment. The latter comprised of understanding Le Corbusier's concept of Museum of Unlimited Growth, its incorporation in government museums design, digitization of the original conceptual drawings by Le Corbusier over the years, documenting the alterations and interventions which were done to the original concept, and digging into the evolution of the museum design. An exhaustive research was carried out in which archival documents, letters, minutes of the meeting, estimates, as well as oral histories of the then involved people were recorded and were scrutinized to comprehend the museum's incredible biography. The architectural vocabulary and style of the architect were also studied to analyze the exceptional building elements. All this enabled assessing the value of the museum, its elements and collection, along with establishing its historical significance. The entire preparation of CMP involved rigorous discussions and exchange of ideas between the various stakeholders and consultants at every stage. The Getty Conservation Institute conducted a workshop on Le Corbusier's 3 museums, a workshop on their care and conservation, where relevant themes were discussed by the 3 respective museum experts, which concluded with great learnings and insights. This was followed with comparative study of Government Museum with the other 2 museums for the CMP. Next step in the process was preliminary mapping of the visual condition of the building and documenting the history of interventions, alterations and repairs, which was followed by an in-depth building condition survey and testing to examine the condition and composition of the building materials. Various tests were conducted such as rebound hammer test, ferroscanning, ultrasonic pulse test, carbonation test for concrete, FESEM test of brick tile and terrazzo, paint analysis for plasters, and so on. Finally, proposal plans were developed and policies were formulated for use and interpretation, landscape, building conservation, lighting, and risk management. The proposals primarily focused on the needs of the current users of the site, that is, the museum staff and the visitors, museum enhancement, safety, along with the original concept and design of the museum.
The implementation action plan, including phasing and budget, were prepared to conclude the 5-phase CM. The project has been an excellent opportunity for me, where I got to be deeply involved at each of these stages with the team and the expert consultants, which enabled a thorough understanding of the entire process of a CMP of such a magnificent museum building.